Hi, my name is Munya Duvera, management consultant in Johannesburg, and today we're talking IPO, which stands for Initial Public Offering. What is an initial public offering? Well, it's the very first time a privately held business offers its shares to the general public in order for it to be traded on the stock exchange. That's the name, initial first time public offering. When that happens, it turns from being a privately held company into a publicly held company, meaning its shares and part ownership of it is held by the general public. That could be anyone from here in Johannesburg all the way to Russia, to China, to America. Any individual that desires to own a piece of that company can own it. Thus, it's a publicly traded or publicly held business. But for what purpose? Why do companies list on the stock exchange? Number one, the core purpose of the stock exchange was always and still is to raise money for businesses. Businesses use it as a way to get capital, to expand their businesses, to grow their businesses, and use their capital for whatever way it needs to expand. And number two, to monetize. Initial investors such as venture capital firms, private equity firms, angel investors use an IPO to get a return on their investment. They use it as a way to exit from their investment. And those are the two reasons why companies trade on the stock exchange. Next point, investment banks and sponsors. For a company to trade on the stock exchange, it needs a company to help them. In South Africa, we use companies that are called sponsors, and as well investment banks such as Rand Merchant Bank and Investec. These companies help the business to list on the stock exchange. They do this by preparing documents, long documents and onerous ones called a prospectus, which details information about the business, and also they help value the business, which is the next point, value of the shares. For the company to be listed, we as the consumers, we as the buyers, the investors, the public investors, we need to know and understand how much the company is worth, what each share is going to be sold for. So investment banks, which act as underwriters or sponsors as they're called as well in South Africa, they perform that duty of valuing the company. Last but not least, roadshow. A roadshow is basically where the company that is being listed goes around speaking to institutional investors, because the biggest buyers of shares, especially initial public offering shares, are institutional investors. These are your hedge funds, these are your mutual funds and so forth. These are companies that can buy a large amount of shares, and therefore a roadshow allows a company to go out and market itself. It goes out and speaks to institutional investors and tells them why it is beneficial for them to buy their stock. I'm Munya Duvera, management consultant in Johannesburg. You can get my contact details on my website, munyaduvera.co.za, or follow me on Twitter at Munya Duvera, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, very same handle. Send me an email, give me a call, let's talk business.